Coach, how's practice been last couple?
Yeah, good. Had a good Sunday. Got a bunch of stuff done. We had some corrections, obviously, to make from the game, and got that stuff cleaned up and put it behind us and moved on. And I thought today was really spirited. I thought the attitude and the work was really good today. The guys, you could tell they were a little tired starting, but I thought we practiced hard. I thought we was very physical. Was really happy with what we had in practice today, and good to see that. And we're gonna have to really practice that, at a high level this week to get ready to go, play against a really good team in a very tough environment. And again, a team that we haven't had a lot of success against historically.
What makes the environment so tough in your mind?
Well, they've just been really good. I mean, I think they've been consistently good. I think their fans are smart fans. I think they understand football. I think they appreciate the culture that exists within the Kansas State program. I think everybody is united. I think that's what's made that place special through the years. You go back and you look at Coach Snyder and what he built there at Kansas State, and they just did things the right way. And I think that their fans appreciated the attention to detail and the work that they did. It's obviously carried over with Coach Kleiman and the consistent success that he's had. And I think they just appreciate, kids that play hard and kids that do things the right way in a program that every time they take the field, regardless of who they play, they've got a great opportunity to win. And that's what you've gotten from Kansas State through the years. They've lost a couple of games this year at the very end of games. Have had some bad things happen to them down the stretch, but this is a typical Kansas State team. I mean, they're dangerous. They're well coached. They play hard. They do things the right way. They're good on special teams. Just all the things that give you a chance to win. They do it.
They've got a couple really good edge rushers as well defensively. Have y'all had conversations about how to address
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they do. They always do. They've got good edge rushers. I've been very impressed with their linebacker play as well. I mean, I think it's probably the two best as a group linebackers probably in the league. They've got guys up front that are athletic. They have guys up front that play with really relentless effort. And so we're going to need to do a good job, against those guys. And, we're going to see some different looks. That's one thing that we've come to expect is when we play people, we're going to see something different than what they presented, previously. And so we're going to have to prepare for a lot of different things this week because, we're going to see a lot of movement up front. With their defensive front, and that's kind of been what people have done against us, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of that on Saturday. So we're really preparing hard and working hard to try to get the best looks that we can this week to prepare for that.
You mentioned that this has been a tough place historically to play. How do you kind of make it avoid that slow start? How do you get things rolling?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing we have to do is play. Understand it's going to be a 60-minute football game. That's just the way this league is. The Big 12 is you're going to have to play for 60 minutes. And, you go and you look at pretty much every single game in the league. It's going to come down to the very end. And so that was pretty much the case for us this last week. That was certainly the case for Kansas State and Baylor last week as well. That's just the way these games are going to be played. And so, we've got to handle end-of-game situations really well. We handled them better against Colorado than we did against Arizona State, and that was the difference between winning and losing the game. And so we're going to have to do the same thing this week. We're going to have to just weather the storms. There's going to be some good things that happen, bad things that happen. We're just going to have to keep our eyes down, stay emotionally grounded, and just continue to grind through things. And, it's going to be a hard-fought game. We understand that, and we expect that. And we're going to have to be the team that plays the hardest and plays the most physical and plays the most disciplined. And again, those have been things that Kansas State has historically hung their hat on.
Coach, you talked about after the game against Colorado the difficulty running football.
Yep.
Is it an easy fix to improve the run?
There's some things that we can do, obviously, to get better at it. But there's some scheme things, there's some fundamental things, there's some things that people have done to us. There's the fact that people have kind of sold out at times to stop the run. I mean, there's a million different things, but they all add up to the same conclusion, and that's that we're not as efficient running the football as we need to be. Now, let me say this. I thought Kendall Briles did an incredible job calling the game Saturday. You know, when you're down 14-0, sometimes you can panic, and sometimes, you know, you're trying to score immediately and trying to score fast. He did a great job sticking with the game plan. He did a great job being patient, continuing to run the ball. And I think that, you know, protected our quarterback a little bit and made it easier for him to be able to go out and play. So I thought he did a really, really good job of managing the game and gave us a chance to, you know, to kind of get back on our feet a little bit. You know, we had the drive early in the game where we have 1st and goal and we walk away with no points, you know, and you just can't do that starting a football game out, and you look up, all of a sudden we're down 14-0. But again, credit, you know, Coach Briles and Josh. I thought the two of those guys just stayed with it, continued to make good decisions, never panicked, didn't put the ball at risk. And again, the fact that we didn't turn the ball over, you know, I'm going to say the stat again, we're 25-4 now when we win or tie the turnover battle. And so we won 4-0 on Saturday, and that was the key to the game.
You mentioned a couple times now this year that defenses have tended to sell out to stop the run against you guys. Is that surprising with the quarterback like Josh and receivers that you have?
Well, I think the goal is to always make an offense one-dimensional. You know what I mean? And I think it doesn't matter. You know, we're pretty efficient throwing the football, but if it's all we can do is throw it, then now all of a sudden you can attack that. And so that's the thing. We have to be able to do both and to be efficient doing both. And so that's going to be really, really important for us moving forward.
Jacob's averaging 10 tackles the last 3 games. Is this the type of production you guys envisioned when you signed him a couple years ago?
Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, we're playing really well at linebacker. Those two guys are playing excellent football. You know, I mean, they're covering well. You know, Nnamdi had the big interception at the end of the half. You know, they're pressuring the quarterback. You know, Caleb has been a really high-level rusher for us when we've had him on the edge and blitzing. Those guys they're making plays. They're athletic. They can run. They're good tacklers. You know, I think they're very good players. And so, yeah, we expected that. I mean, these guys are talented, experienced players that both take a lot of pride in their preparation and their performance. And it's good to see them go out there and execute the way that they're executing. And I think they can play better. And I think that's what's exciting is the fact that, you know, I think as well as they've played, there's still some meat on that bone, and we can get better.
You've played some really athletic quarterbacks this
Yeah, 4 weeks in a row.
So Avery's known as probably the fastest quarterback in the Big 12.
Yeah.
What kind of challenge?
Yeah, you know, they're all different. It's interesting. You know, you had Kevin Jennings that could leave the pocket to keep a play alive and then throw shot passes, and then you know, you had Arizona State's quarterback was different. He wanted to run the football, and then you had Colorado's quarterback that was, you know, a little bit different too. And then you've got Avery Johnson this week, and Avery's the best athlete of the bunch. They've all been really good athletes. He's the best runner, as you said. He's the fastest. There's going to be more designed quarterback runs, you know, than we faced, particularly in the red zone, particularly on 3rd down. You know, critical situations, they're gonna run the quarterback. They're going to put the ball in you know, the hands of the best player. And so, you know, you look at the quarterback draw last week against Baylor. I think he went for 35, 40 yards for a touchdown. And no one laid a hand on him. And he's just got that kind of speed and big playability. And that's, you know, that's what he does at a high level.
Anything else?
Obviously, we know about Avery's running ability, but can you talk about their receivers?
Yeah.
Breakout game against Baylor.
Yeah. I think, you know, to me, you look at the running back and one. Those are two of the faster, more skilled guys in the Big 12. You know, one in particular is you know, just a long, athletic, fast, big play guy. You know, you kind of go, what can he do? And you go, well, what can he not do? You know, he kind of does it all well. You know, the tight ends are good receivers, and you know, we're going to see a lot of 2 tight end sets, and those guys can both run and they're athletic. So overall, receiving core is really good. Good size, good speed. They can make plays. They make contested plays on the ball. Just a really good group. Like I said, I mean, I think their skill is probably as good as anyone we're going to face this year.
No Ansel last week, or Jeremy saw Ryan get banged up. Do you have updates?
Yeah, Ansel will be full speed ahead. Ryan had a knee injury, he'll be out for the rest of the year. He's going to have surgery next week, end of this week, and he'll be out for the year. Did you ask about somebody else?
Jeremy
Payne will probably be available. Just got a little bit of a turf toe, still sore, working through it, but our hope is that he'll be available.
With Ryan out, coach, we saw Quentin play left
Yeah.
tackle. Is Witten a guy?
Yeah. So we'll. I think Wes Harvey and Witt both are getting close to being ready to play. And I think those are two guys that we've had really high expectations for. And the only way we're going to find out if they can play is when we play them. And I think we're have tremendous confidence in both of them. I thought Quentin did an excellent job last week. It played like we expected him to. And so we just got to get a little bit more production at the tackle spot. Ben Whitfield, I think, is very, very athletic and probably hasn't played to his potential, but I think I think he'll have a great week this week and continue to get better.
Anything else?
Okay, guys, appreciate it.
Joshua, what have you seen from Kansas State's defense on film?
Yeah, they're really good. They're well coached. They play hard. They're front. Those guys just never quit playing. That's just kind of their MO as a defense. Is they play hard. They run the football. They tackle well. And they're a solid team. So far, what I've seen, they're really good.
What do you remember about playing in that environment a few years ago?
It was definitely a cool environment. It was my second start in college. Things were kind of fresh and moving fast, and don't remember a whole lot about it. I remember it got out of hand pretty quick, and wasn't the best night for us. So I think we all have definitely brought that up and thought about it, and we're excited.
For you, when you think about that, what do you take from that going back to Manhattan?
They're a good team. They've been really successful playing at home. They've been successful in this league for a long time, and they're going to be a really solid team. I mean, that's all there really is to say. We all know what we got to do. We got to show up and play our best football, and that's what we're focused on doing. And that's the exciting thing is we know it's going to be a challenge, and we know we're going to have to play our best in order to win. So that's the challenge. That's the goal. I think we've all kind of got our eyes set on what we need to do, and just trying to keep that edge sharp.
Sonny just told us Ryan's out for the year. I guess what are those conversations, or how are you going about letting some of the other guys that are going to step up know how much confidence you have in them going forward this year?
Oh, I've got confidence in all those guys. I mean, Quentin, he was one of my roommates my freshman year, and he's a tremendous player, great person. He's one of those guys that'll just sell out for you and sell out for our offense. And so I'm excited about him, excited about what he's going to bring to the table. I know he's going to step up into that role and do a very good job. So I'm proud of him and looking forward to seeing him play and excited for him to get this opportunity. Obviously, you never want it to be because of an injury, and obviously tough to deal with Ryan. But Ryan will be back and be healthy, and he's going to have a great career. And excited for him, and excited for this opportunity that Quentin's going to have, and he's surely going to step up for us.
What are the biggest things you guys have to do up there in Manhattan on Saturday just to get out of there with a win?
Got to play clean. We got to play clean. Got to do our job at a really high level. We got to throw and catch. Do a great job giving receivers chances. Those guys, I believe they're going to go make plays. That's who they are. We got playmakers, and we got to be able to just be balanced and make plays in the critical moments, and be really good on third down, and just have a great feel for what they're doing, a great feel for what we're doing, and just go play clean.
They've got a defensive lineman that's pretty close to one of your teammates, Andy's brother. Can you talk about him?
Not really aware.
Yeah, he's number 8, right? Number 8.
I'm messing around. Namdy's sitting over there. No, he's a great player. Like I said earlier, their front is really talented. Obviously, 8 is a tremendous player. He's twitched up, really strong, big dude. So it's going to be a challenge. He's a great player on tape. Really throws guys around, makes plays in the backfield, and the run, the pass rush, all of it. So their front is they're really good. They're coached up well. They play hard, and they do some stuff that makes it difficult. So we're gonna have to play well up front, and I have a lot of confidence in those guys that they're gonna play well.
Anything else? Thank you. Questions for the Big 12 Conference Defensive Player of the Week?
Is it going to be a special occasion for you facing your brother on Saturday?
Yeah, it should be good. Just playing my brother. I got a lot of family and friends coming to that game. played him 2 years ago, and he was a true freshman, so he didn't get real much playing time back then. So this is actually going to be the first time we're both really playing each other.
What are your thoughts on getting that Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week?
It felt good. Just feel like it's just from all the hard work I put in, but it's definitely not one of my big goals. You know what I mean? I just got to keep on working.
What's worked with you and Caleb at that linebacker position this year? Sonny talked really highly about you guys a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I just feel like, me and Caleb, I've been saying pretty much like the same player, pretty much like I got so much confidence that he can make his plays on his field or that plays come to him. And I'm making plays come to me. So, we're both just playing off each other. We have a lot of communication. So it's pretty much just expecting for where the other guy to be, just playing off of him.
With your brother, was that always like a dream for both of y'all to be at this level playing college football?
Yeah, for sure. I was going to say football has definitely been a big part of our lives, So, both trying to play in the league together. So this is just one step closer.
Was he always a D lineman growing up? Or
No, he was actually more of like a tight end. He was playing offense. He's kind of skinnier too because he was playing basketball all through high school. That was his main thing. He was a hooper because he was just taller. And then, K-State got him as a D lineman, and that's when he kind of put all that weight on.
You guys don't get a break playing athletic quarterbacks.
I know,
Another
man.
one this week, man. Just talk about the challenges in facing Avery with his athletic ability.
Yeah, Avery, he's a great player. You got to be able to just account for his speed and just his quarterback run. It kind of makes it hard because you kind of have to respect him. You know what I mean? Just even in your pass drops, just knowing that if you cover everybody up, he's going to step up and run. So, we've had pretty much, I feel like every game so far has been a running quarterbacks, so that's been good just to have some history and some experience before Avery.
And they got Dylan Edwards now, and obviously last time y'all played him, he was at Colorado. He had some good plays in that game. What are your thoughts on his athletic ability and what he can do with football?
Yeah, he's a real good back. He's a smaller, faster back. Like you said last time, he had a pretty good game against us. So, this time around we should try and do our best against him.
You had a go ahead.
So what, if anything, you remember about just playing in that environment last time?
I would just say just the start of the game. I'm pretty sure I wasn't sure if it's the first three or I just know the first few drives, they were just marching down scoring. I felt like that kind of put away some of the players and kind of made them bend over, you know what I mean? So I feel like once we go in there, we got to start fast and kind of take the crowd, take them out of it, and just kind of play our own game.
Have you had that conversation with some of the teammates that weren't here that year about just how you need to start fast and take the crowd out?
Yeah. I think it's not really been talking about this way. I think we've just been talking about that as the whole season. Just whenever we're on the road games, you just have to attack and just, come out swinging.
You had a great game against Colorado, obviously Big 12 Player Week. But I have to ask this, man, because everyone was asking after the game. You know what question's coming. What happened on that play where you just stopped? The fans want to know this question.
All right. Well, pretty much I seen the ball thrown, and then I was already on the defender, and I swiped at his hands, and I felt like his inside arm go back. So he must have put it in his right hand or something. But once I felt his arm back, I didn't think he had the ball anymore. So I kind of pulled up, but I just got to use that as a learning lesson and just finish it.
You guys did a really good job against Caden. What made you guys so successful keeping him inside the pocket? I mean, he got outside a couple times, but overall his running wasn't there against you guys. What did y'all use that was so successful that hopefully can translate to playing, against Avery as well?
I would just say all of our different fronts. We're shifting different people around when we're blitzing or just attacking him. Just getting him all confused, not knowing who's coming and from where, and then also, just making sure the two people who are the lever players are just making sure that they set a good pocket and keep them in between so everybody can just rush through their lanes and get to the quarterback.
Anything else? David, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.